Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coriander Society Adventures, YOKAI Blossom. I'm tormented by gnomes. It is awesome to be your game master. And joining me today, very excited to have on the show for the first time, we've got Nekkra. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I follow Coriander Society and all of the antics that entire crew gets up to. And I was like, it's only a matter of time, maybe, that I get myself involved in the shenanigans going on over there. So,
Phenomenal. Before we get into this, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where people can find you, so on and so forth.
sure. So my name is Rosemary Kelly, otherwise known as Nekkra in the gaming world, and I am an avid anime lover. I also really love video games. I guess that makes a lot of sense. And I also am an on-camera talent focusing on Overwatch, Pokemon, and Fortnite sometimes. But yeah, I also just love D&D, so here we are.
Fantastic. So I'm Tormented by Gnomes. I'm the main game master of Casters and Castles, which is a channel that features mostly folks from the esports community, esports broadcast talent, playing tabletop RPGs. And today, we're going to be taking our first foray into the world of Anime 5e by Gastone Publishing Company. It's a take on 5th edition adventures that changes up a lot of things in order to make the rule system work better for the archetypical, iconic anime stories that we've all grown up with, that we all know and love. It does a lot of really exciting things with the rules in order to make that work, in order to tweak it to the genre. So we're going to go through the character creation process today with Nekkra, because her character lives in the world of YOKAI Blossom, which is the next universe that the Coriander Society team will be traveling to. So, the way that Anime 5e works, if you've played the 5th edition, then you're familiar with a lot of the basics. But one of the main things that it does is it takes character creation and breaks it down, every single little bit and piece, into a points-based system to make characters really, really, really customizable. It does some other things with the combat rules, with some of the movement rules, things here and there in order to better evoke the genre of anime. But we're just going to go with Nekkra one step at a time through the entire process of character creation. We're also going to talk a little bit about the world of YOKAI Blossom, which is an original anime setting for Coriander Society. And if you watch tomorrow's episode of Coriander Society Adventures at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, you'll get to see how our heroes will be arriving there. So, before we even get into what kind of character you want to play or some of the backstory that we've talked about, let's do the old-fashioned and roll for your stats. And there's a really interesting interplay here with the Anime 5e character creation system, but we're just going to start by having you roll for your stats. 4d6, drop lowest, do it 6 times. Let's see what we get. And just read them off as they come.
Sure. So we're getting to do something really cool. And one of the things that I love about Roll20 is that you get to do it virtually, but I love using my dice. And so we're going to be rolling all of these on my desk. And let's see what we get. I've got 5, 4, 2, 1. 6, 4, 3, 2.
All right, plus 1 XP because I was on mute. 6, 4, 3, 2. We dropped the 2. That's a 13. So far you have an 11 and a 13.
Yep. 1114.
That's incredible. A 6.
Let's go.
It's not actually going to It's not going to bite you that bad though, because of the way Anime 5e works.
I was gonna say, honestly, though, I feel like that's perfect for an anime character because they're always bad at something.
Mm-hmm.
What is that something? Actually, I don't know, unless you're like the main character of a shonen, in which case maybe it's just emotional damage. It's fine.
Fun fact, we have rules for emotional damage, and you can get points for having emotional damage. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that.
5, 5, 3, 2.
All right, so that's another 13.
6, 1, 2, 2.
6, 1, 2, 2, 10.
And I've got one more.
Yeah, you've got one more.
6544.
6544. So we dropped the 4. That's a 15. Okay. So your starting 6 stats are as follows: 11, 13, 6, 13, 10, 15. I've written them all down in the chat here, and I will send them to you because we're not actually in the same Roll20 yet, because I haven't invited you to the campaign yet, because we're not. But that's fine. That's not a huge deal. All right. So these are your starting stats. The first thing with the Anime 5e rules is that when you create a level 1 character and your character is not going to be level 1, you start the game with 80 points. Those 80 points are used to purchase your ability scores, all of your racial features, and any special anime style powers that you might also have. So even though we just rolled for all of these stats, you can use these are all going to come out of your existing pool of points. And 2, you can spend your points to boost them up to a certain degree. In addition, however, you are going to start out as a level 9 character. With some extra spice on top of it, which we will get to because of the nonsense we've been doing in Coriander Society.
Oh, that's so fun.
So as a level 9 character, I'm going to give you an additional 8 points to start out with. So you have 88 points to start out with. We're going to deduct these scores that you've got right now. So I'm going to take away the 11, the 13, the 6, the 13, the 10, and the 15. So these equal 60 total, which means you had 88. They're 68 total. Is that right? Whatever. I did it right in the calculator. The point is, you have 20 points left.
Yeah.
Before you spend these, this is where we start making your first set of decisions, because there's a bunch of different races and species that you can play in Anime 5e that are unique to the setting. You can also play any of the standard races, which have all been adapted to fit with this points-based system. Or you can choose to be like, I want to be an elf, but I'm not going to use the rules for an elf. I'm just going to pick whatever special abilities I want and make it up for myself from a huge menu of different options.
Yes.
So before we get into that, have you given any thought to what kind of character you want to play?
I have thought a little bit about what kind of character I feel like I want to go with. And like, honestly, one of the things that I think really interests me is that I want to go with a character that is a little bit against the grain of what you would consider to be like a normal anime trope character. I think we're in desperate need of like strong female characters. We also need a lot of like very emotionally developed characters. And so my goal is to somehow be able to use both of those kind of in the character creation process. And then also on
Nice.
top of that, I guess like stylistically, I always have really liked like magic and superpowers. Um, and of course I like Pokemon, so I don't know where that fits into the mix, but
It does. Don't worry, it does.
something around there. So, yeah.
Okay.
Inspiration.
All right. So a strong character, an emotionally well-developed character.
Yeah.
In terms of species, in the world of Yokai Blossom, you've definitely got humans. You've got half dragons.
Ooh.
And I should pull up some of the key art here because it's very cool. In D&D, half dragons look like dragonborn. They've got the dragon snouts and the scales and the wings.
Yeah.
In Anime 5e, half dragons look like people with horns, and people with horns,
so
wings,
cool.
and tails. I'll see if I can pull up some of the Bishonen dragon exactly. I'll work on showing some of the art here on camera. There's also Nekojin, which are cat people. You can play as a 30-foot arc fiend if you want. Just this gigantic fiend who moves at 120 feet per round. That is a core playable species. It costs 15 points to play that. If you're looking in the book, go to page... Where is it? Page 28. Has all of these options.
Yeah.
So there's Arc Fiends, there's Azrai, which are like angel people, winged angel people, Blink Beasts, which are forest spirits, Demon Nagas, which are these gnarly snake people, fairies, Greys, who are aliens, half dragons, half trolls. There's a lot of options.
Yeah.
And then there's definitely humans in this world. There's a lot of different sort of playables. So what appeals to you off the bat?
Oh my gosh. Do I fan service this? Because there's some really good ideas in the chat right now. Um these are good. These are super good. Honestly, I feel like some of the best, like some of the things that really stick out to me the most, I mean, like Archfiend sounds a little fun.
You could do that.
Could be a big girl. Because I'm little, so you know what?
Yeah, it's a role-playing game, right?
Yeah, D&D can be my creation.
Now, the other thing is, because you're going to have some spare points, you could be, say, a human, but then spend some of your extra points to be an incredibly, like a giant. It's all customizable as well. The Archfiend is a cluster of different attributes like augmented strength, advantage on strength rolls, times 4 speed, dark vision, massive damage, so on and so forth. But each of these aspects of the Archfiend, if you're looking at page 30, they're all broken down. So you could literally take a different species and then just throw some of these things in on top of it. It's completely so customizable.
Cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that's the thing that's really exciting about this particular rule set is there's so many options that it's almost a little bit like option overload because I'm like, wow, I want to be able to do everything. And I actually kind of forget if we had some amount of idea in mind before we started at this and like I saw all the options again, I was like, but wait.
I want that, and I want that, I want that. Yeah, I think
all
that
these different things.
Coming up with a core concept and building towards that concept without worrying about the rules is going to be your guiding light here. You know, because then we can say, what is your fantasy? What's your vision? What's your creative idea? Because these rules can do whatever. So we'll start with the creative direction and then push the rules towards that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We want to talk a little bit about the story and go from there?
Be good. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the story because I feel like that will influence quite a bit of where my character and like what my character should kind of look like to like kind of fit into that.
All right. The Steel World is over. Only the elders amongst humans, longer lived species, probably remember further back, but only great grandparents amongst humans remember the Steel World, when machines rampaged across the land, when the oceans were poisoned, the sky was choked, the earth was torn apart. But the great works and creations of mortals upon this world stood all the way up to the sky. The sea levels were rising, terrible storms and droughts were ravaging over the planet. Everyone was running out of food. And that is when the bloom took over. It took the carbon from the air, the carbon that had choked the atmosphere, and wove it, extracted it from the air, and made it into new plants and new plant life. And the transformation was so sudden that it tied an unstoppable wave of greenery, of flowers and blossom spirits poured over the entire planet, buried the steel beneath it, brought the whole world back to life. And now the yokai blossoms, the blossom spirits, are the protectors of the mortal species on this world. Most of the stories of the world of steel are still echoing around, but instead of living in gigantic cities filled with machines and noise, now everybody lives in these smaller villages and these families and clans, each of which is protected by a different kind of blossom spirit. And every single Hana family has taken a different flower to exemplify them, the spirits that they connect with, and their own virtues. And they live all over the world, which has become beautiful once again, but is isolated from each other by these huge, overgrown wildernesses filled with unknown spirits.
I love it.
Every single family, like I said, is associated with the Hanakatoba, the Japanese flower language, where every flower represents a different meaning. And we had talked about you coming from the Botan family.
Yes, we did.
The Botan is the peony flower, and it's associated with bravery. There's a lot of different faces of bravery. It doesn't mean that everyone's like a proud warrior of some kind. There's just the bravery of raising children, the bravery of foraging in the wilderness, the bravery of being emotionally honest with each other. It has a lot of different manifestations. It's not one-sided. But because of this new age of the bloom and this spiritual awakening of the planet, members of your family can either focus on honing the virtues of the Botan within themselves to unlock their own spiritual powers and develop all sorts of magical abilities, or they can develop a special bond with various flower blossom spirits that are out in the world, but only the spirits of their type, the Botan type, that clan. So that's just a little bit of an overview of the universe.
It's so cool. Like, I remember when we got a chance to look at the brief summary of what this was going to look like just the world brief, and I just went, it has so many elements of things that I love about anime, whether it's like movies or shows or something like that. And I know, like, listening to that, I'm sure a lot of people in chat are also like, yes, it makes me think of this, but it's also like not entirely that. And like, there's so many really cool elements here that we get to play off of. So I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
All right. So in the Botan family, there are 5 main colors that peonies can come in: purple, pink, red, white, and yellow. And each of these has sort of a different symbolic meaning. The village is ruled, or not ruled, but kind of guided by 5 elders, each of whom associates with one of these colors. And they each have a different aspect of bravery to them. Purple is leadership. Pink is joy and good health. Red is authority and strength. So a lot of the warriors of the Botan are the samurai, the various martial artists, the people who practice the spiritual arts to unleash their powers. They fall under the red side of things. White is purity, truth, humility, and mourning. And then yellow is sunshine, nature, and youth. They take care of the food supply in the village. They tend to the children, all that sort of thing. So there are these subdivisions within the village. But the Botan family sees their role as protectors as being very, very important. Because even though the world of steel is gone, there's still a lot of danger out there. A lot of the spirits that are wandering through the wilderness can be angry or violent or unpredictable. The different families still have to find ways to get along with each other. Even though I would say the scale of life, the scale of civilization has been pared down dramatically to these small, mostly self-sufficient communities, there's still travel and conflict and disagreement and danger. And so the Botan family takes their duty very, very seriously. They have a lot of warriors, but they aren't all warriors. Where do you see yourself fitting in so far?
So I really see myself fitting in with white. I don't know, like purity and truth just speaks to me a little bit about also what we had sort of talked about in terms of just like where I might be fitting into this particular world. And so I definitely want to play off of that. And so I think that gives me a little bit better direction for my character also when it comes to how I could best navigate that particular aspect of being a part of this family.
Okay. Let's talk about The Oniyuri family.
Yep.
So they represent the tiger. The tiger lily is the flower that represents that family. And their virtue is wealth and prosperity. And that means a lot of different things to different people. To some of them, it just means we have this new world. This is how everything works now. Let's just make sure everybody has enough. Let's make sure that everybody has abundance. The natural world is very, very bountiful. It absolutely provides everyone with what we need. We can all have comfortable, happy, peaceful lives. Let's ensure that standard of living for a lot of people. Not everybody feels that way, however. Especially Orvi, a young, ambitious half-dragon of the Oniyuri family. Orvi is somebody who your character knew growing up in their youth. And I will spell out that name here in chat so that folks can see. Here we go. Orvi's one of those people who is never content just to be inside this village. Is always thinking that, you know, we've built windmills and water mills and all sorts of ingenious contraptions for irrigation, and we've got the spirits helping us with the crops and building things, but it all still feels so small. Like each family is trapped inside these little bubbles and they can't go beyond that, and they just live their little lives endlessly, one generation after the other, none of them building anything lasting, none of them building anything that matters. And Orvi's not the only one who feels this way. And this emotion, this sentiment, never really got anywhere aside from a big sense of wanderlust and of constantly, as a kid, you know, I'm going to build the tallest tower. I want to go out beyond into the wilds. Why won't you let me go out there? What's out there? But as Orvi came to adulthood, this became more of an obsession with the lost steel world. Because during the steel world, people built gigantic flying machines and metal bridges and railroads that traversed entire, like hundreds and hundreds of miles all over the world. Buildings that reached up to the sky, factories that could produce more than one village could do in a lifetime within a month. And that's the sort of, and Orvi feels constricted by this lifestyle and thinks, why should we live like this? Why should anybody put these limits on us? And so some of the families are itching to uncover some of the bits and pieces of the steel world, which are buried beneath the bloom, which was defeated by the bloom. This has caused some strife amongst the various families. Again, not everybody in the Oniyuri family feels this way, but it is this growing movement. They've sort of banded together. They've been going out into the wilds and cutting things down and trying to find old factories and machines and blueprints and all those sorts of things. And that has caused some strife within the family. In addition, there is a curse spreading across some of the Hana families. And this curse is cutting them off from the Blossom spirits, removing their ability to use their powers, both their inner powers and their powers of channeling, and breaking their friendship with their family spirits. These are the two primary threats that are facing the world of Yokai Blossom right now. And the Botan family takes their role very seriously. Their role as protectors. Their job is to be brave. And so they would be involved with both of these crises.
Oh, I'm in a sticky situation.
Why is that?
I just I'm so excited because I feel like it's just like my gears are turning, right? Like I feel like there's gonna be so much conflict, and like, are we gonna have resolution? Who
In
knows?
4 episodes? Good question.
Oh, that's so fun. Whew. Okay. Well, honestly, then I feel like I can play kind of whatever I want.
One of the original things, one of the things I wanted to make sure was in this world because of your own particular, background, literally background behind you. There is a pet monster trainer class.
Yeah.
And in this case, those pet monsters would be the blossom spirits of your family. So that is absolutely one option that you could go with. Some of the other classes include, let's just go ahead and run through them real quick. There's also ways to convert any of the traditional D&D classes into this. It would take just a little bit of tweaking to break down all their features into points. But before we pick a race, let's run through the classes. The Adventurer. So the Adventurer is unique because they literally just get points that they can spend on whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just look at the list of powers and be like, oh, I want to do that and that and that and that. They just get free stuff. Benders specialize in one element. It doesn't have to be an elemental element. It can be magnetism. It doesn't necessarily need to be totally inspired by Avatar. They're just somebody who deals very specifically with one thing, but they are also pretty tough. They have that martial artist aspect to them. Brokers they know a guy who knows a guy. Their whole ability, but it's not just being somebody who's well connected. They have special abilities like a pocket dimension that they can call upon that grows as they level up. And at first it's like, okay, just a bag full of stuff, but eventually it can be they've got their own shop that they just open a door and bam, they go into a shop. Dynamic spellbinders are more flexible than benders, but you wouldn't be just like a general wizard. You'd be somebody who specializes in lunar magic or blood magic. You can make up whatever type it is, as long as all of your magic focuses on that thing. Hunters, demon hunters, wilderness survival, that sort of thing. Isekai students are particularly interesting because they're very, very squishy, incredibly squishy. But one, they end up with tons and tons of like friends and everyone loves them and just wants to protect them because of some weird magnetism that they have. And two, they get a bunch of mysterious powers that manifest over time. And that would 100% be an option in this world as well. Then you've got magical guy / magical girl who uses the power of magic to fight for light, love, and goodness and justice. Lots of fun. They get a lot of spells as well. Ninjas. They're ninjas. And I don't mean to degrade the noble order of ninjas. The pet monster trainer, which we've talked about. And the cool thing about the pet monster trainer is that you can either focus on just having like one pet monster that's incredibly powerful, or you can sort of divide up your points to form a whole team, depending on how you want to go about things.
That's so cool.
Every time you get a rank in the monster training or the companion attribute, you can either pick up a new companion or buff your existing companion. Psionicists, mental powers, samurai, ultimate warriors, shadow warriors are, I don't know what the direct analog is for them, but they're incredibly beefy, incredibly strong. They can grow and they regenerate health. Mm-hmm. Tech Knights have cool tech armor and abilities, and then warders inscribe tattoos on themselves, protective marks, and they can put those marks on other people as well.
Oh, that's so cool.
So these are a lot of your options.
So many options.
What do you when you think about, if you just envision yourself in this world, in this village, overgrown greenery, beautiful flowers in 1,000 colors all over the place, somewhere underneath it out there in the wilderness are cities, metropolises, industrial plants that have been completely covered and are almost invisible. They're like the bones of this greenery. And you've got this village of people wearing these 5 different colors, farming, tending to the land, living in harmony with the spirits. They do have some technology set up, but it's not like combustion engines. It's a lot of wind power, water power, some magical, mechanical machinery in order to help everybody live comfortable lives. Is there a person or an image that pops into your head?
I definitely feel like for this kind of arc in a campaign, especially if I'm going to be level 9, there's so many things I feel like that I can do at this point. And so where I see myself sort of fitting in is in terms of the story itself. I know you and I had talked a little bit about my character being kind of like not a mediator per se. Like, definitely not, like, the head mediator. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
head of I'm not gonna be a head of the branch or anything like that.
But
But I
maybe
do
like
think
the second.
yeah, I feel like I could be like a henchman, you know, like I am the traveler. You sit in your chair and do what you want, and I'll go out and do the things for you. If that makes sense.
Okay, so let's say that your character is the right hand of the white robed Botan family leader. Purity, truth, humility, and mourning. And so when there are important missions to go out, dangerous missions to go out into the world outside of the village, and they are of the utmost importance, you're the person who's sent. Does that sound good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now, white's the color of purity, truth, humility, and mourning. So I think that the role of truth here would be really important because you'd be almost like an investigator. You are sent to
Mhm.
uncover things, to reveal things that are going on, right?
Yep.
All right. Now I have an idea, a very good idea, actually, of what your first mission in this story is going to be.
Sweet.
But do you have any ideas about how your character rose to become this second in command, this like most important hench person? And I'll develop this character of the white Botan leader and the other five, both from this conversation and just before that session.
Yeah. So I think because I'm trying to think of like the backstory here.
Mm-hmm. Did you grow up in the village your whole life?
Yeah, so I think my character grew up in the village and, has the strong sense of duty that she has because she loves the people around her. Like the village, they're strong together because they stick together. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
carried with her throughout the entire course of her life.
Very close relationships, very close emotional ties to the
Yep,
community.
absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that I kind of see for her almost is like, is there going to be some amount of moral conflict that comes through? Because she's very much right now, I would say, like lawful
Mm-hmm.
good. That's where I would see her current moral alignment.
Okay.
So I feel like you could do some fun things with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And inside the Botan village, there are people who train in hand-to-hand combat with weapons. There are people who train in the mystic arts, sort of internal meditation to unleash their spiritual powers, to do all sorts of things. And there's people who train with the Botan Blossom Spirits. And the Botan Blossom Spirits, they come in, like Blossom Spirits in general, have 1,000 upon 1,000 different forms. There's so many of them out there. Nobody knows how many different kinds there are out there. And even all of the Botan Blossom Spirits, for example, they don't all look the same. They all have bravery in common. But again, there's lots of different types of bravery. For example, Botan Village has koi fish. It has a koi pond. And a lot of the Botan spirits take the appearance of koi, including
Oh,
koi warriors, where like one moment it's a fish, and then if somebody's
so
threatened,
cool.
it leaps out of the water. It has arms, legs, and like weapons and armor that looks like scales in a bunch of colors, and it comes to your defense. Koi are associated with
What?
bravery. So that's one of the known types of varieties of Botan spirits, but there's a lot of others.
I'm sold. Yeah. Hey, you said walking, fighting koi fish. I'm already on board. So yeah, I
So you could be trained as a samurai. You could have even learned from a walking, talking, fighting koi fish. You could be somebody. You could be like a bender or a warder who uses the tattoo markings in order to protect other people and yourself. Because warders have all this. They focus on physical training and spiritual training so that they can just shrug off magical attacks, physical attacks. Very, very strong in hand-to-hand combat. Or you could have like one particular, you could be a pet monster trainer and have like one koi fish warrior who's your friend and your like noble protector, and either just buff that one person or have like a team of other spirits as well. Not all koi warriors, but you could have like your primary and then your secondaries.
Oh my goodness. Can I do both?
You can multi-class. You can absolutely
Yeah.
multi-class. You'll need to pick which of those is going to be like your first class, but you have 9 levels. You can split them however you'd like.
I think because I wouldn't be me if I didn't have pet monster trainers somewhere in my character design.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real honest with ourselves here. um, but I do think that where is it? I think being a warder would be very, very cool.
Okay.
I think that would be like a very cool primary class to
Mhm.
have.
All right. Awesome. We have gotten slightly ahead of ourselves because we're working. So we're going to say warder / pet monster
I
trainer.
know we're working from like we're working backwards. I'm
But again,
sorry.
it's
I know
'cause-
we still have to figure out a race.
It's because we're working on the concept, right? We got to get the concept down,
True.
and everything else is going to flow from that. So that's fine. All right. I don't mean to mess with your character concept too much, but let me sell you on something. All right.
Okay.
As we go into this pet monster trainer thing, what if you carried around like a fish bowl with you or something? And most of the time, your companion just looks like, is just in this fishbowl. And instead of a Pokemon ball, you just like open it and he jumps out as a fish and then transforms into combat mode.
Originally, when you said that, I was like, oh, like the Lucky Cricket in Mulan, where she like puts him in the little cage and like attaches it to her hip. And I was like, oh, Lucky Fishbowl. That's even better. No, that's amazing. How could I not do that? Yeah,
right.
no, 100%. That like, it can't be any other way.
Okay, awesome. This is going to play out well. All right, let's go back to talking about your species, your race.
Yes.
Remember that you're going to have some extra points because right now, and the other thing is, in Coriander Society, we get up to some nonsense. And we have to find a way to make sure that you have just as much nonsense. But so you're going to get some extra, basically TLDR at the end of this, you're going to get a pile of extra points. But at the end of this. So right now, you still have 20 points to play with that you can spend to either boost your ability scores and or pay for the features of your race, and or if you have any left over, pay for things like the ability to open portals or whatever else you want to do.
Crazy
stuff. Let's look at the races. You've got the whole chart. We talked a little bit about the unique anime 5e races. You've also got the standards out there. What is appealing to you for this character concept right now? And if you have questions about any of the custom ones there, all their features are in the PDF that you have. But
yeah.
I can also answer anything that you've got, like where do they fit into this particular world, anything you like that.
Oh, man. Well, let me see. There's so many good ones though, which is why it's like it's hard to choose. Choice paralysis.
Go for aesthetics. Go for aesthetics.
But it's a good thing. trying to think. How would a blink beast fit into all of this?
Let's take a look at the blink beast. They're often feared and misunderstood. They are almost a form of spirit themselves, I think. Like they aren't exactly a spirit, but they're very closely related to them. They did not exist until the bloom took over the steel world. So they're a new arrival to this universe a few generations ago. They sort of emerged from inside the bloom, and they weren't originally when the Blossom villages were formed. None of them had the blink beasts because blink beasts lived inside the wilds between them. But as time has gone on, they've sort of emerged. They've started to make friendships. They've started to meet each other. A lot of them are still mysterious and live in their own societies. But some of them absolutely could dwell within the Blossom villages.
That would actually be really cool. Because I think that also adds to the backstory of the character as a whole, which is like, I think if I were to go with a race like that had only shown up around the time that the steel world collapsed,
Mm-hmm.
kind of wonder if I would feel such a sense of like duty in a way to be like, well, it's not a bad thing. I'll prove it to you. Like I'll prove it to you. Like it's not all bad. It's fine. That actually might make a lot of sense.
Okay. So Blink Beast costs 10 points. They have a human form. So they can shift into human form, which is really cool. That lets you have like you can go around in disguise. Kind of picking up a little bit of Ariana energy here because they also have an ability. They have lesser dynamic powers. They can control plant life within a 30-foot radius of themselves. They can tap into its life energy and manipulate it.
I wasn't on purpose.
And to be fair, it's partially my fault because like Ariana would do really, really well in a world like this already. So I sort of, set it up for it.
That's okay.
Also, you can teleport up to 100 feet.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
And as far as I know, there's no limit on that.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
That's another thing about anime 5e is that the powers can be absolutely outrageous over the top, which is a lot of fun. They also have -2 dexterity and -1 charisma, but you can always spend points to undo that.
I'm okay. I think this would make sense.
Okay, great. So you are a blink beast. That's going to cost 10 points for alternate identity, lesser dynamic powers, which you have to concentrate on. And if you don't concentrate on them, they can become unpredictable, by the way. They have those two drawbacks. You speak Common and Sylvan, and you can teleport 100 feet at will.
That's going to come in handy. I already know it. I feel it. If I know you, I'll be happy I have teleportation.
I'm already thinking, well, I'm going to have to rewrite adventure number 1.
Oh no, I hope not too much.
No. This is the fun. This is the fun stuff. With the part where the players have all sorts of ridiculous powers, and I have to think about it. I don't hate that. I enjoy that. All right, so Blink Beast is -10 points, so you have 10 points remaining. Let's talk about your ability scores. So you have your 6 ability scores, which I sent to you on Discord, correct?
Yes.
You can assign them to whatever classes you want, or to whatever of the 6 stats you want: strength, dex, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. For a warder, I think constitution is important for them. Let me just take a look at their powers.
I thought I saw that.
Yeah, they're pretty pretty flexible overall. So to a certain degree, it's going to depend on how you want to play this character. Because warders get ability score improvements, a fair number of them actually. They get an armor class buff, which goes up pretty fast because of all their magical tattoos. Extra actions. They just inflict more damage with their attacks, and that doesn't specify what kind of attack. That's any attack. So if you decide that you want to use melee weapons, or you want to use ranged weapons, or you want to spend some of your points to give yourself a Hadoken, it would apply to any of those. And you get special movement, which I think is like climbing. We'll take a look at that in a moment. So it's it's a very flexible class. You know what? Why do I get the feeling that I need to look at special movement right now?
Well, no, because I was just thinking, like, how funny would it be if I'm like, if I find myself in a situation where I just teleport, blink myself like up a mountain? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So some of the options are balance, cat-like, where you always land on your feet. Legolas mode, where you can walk on top of snow and ice. Quiet, slithering, speed burst, swinging, untrackable, wall crawling. Yeah, wall crawling and wall bouncing are on there. So yes.
Oh no, this is going to be amazing.
Okay, so you can put those ability scores anywhere you want, and if you want, you can spend those 10 points to buff them. You do have some limits. At your level, you're going to be level 9. Your highest score cannot be higher than 20. And your second highest score cannot be higher than 19.
For now, I honestly just want to assign them as I rolled them.
Ooh, okay.
Because, like, sort of. How does that fall? What's first?
All right, I'll post this out to you because this would be a really interesting distribution for your character.
How important is Constitution?
Constitution is going to determine how many hit points you have, how resistant you are to poison, stuff like that. It will make you squishy if you have a low Constitution.
Yeah, I don't think I can be squishy. So that's unfortunate. But I think it would be really funny if I feel like I could let charisma take a hit.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe if we did 13, 13, 15, 11, 10, 6.
Okay. I'm going to post these in Roll20, and I'm going to post them to you to confirm that this is what you want to do. First to you, and then to Roll20 so that we can get both of those established.
Yeah, I think so.
That is a very interesting spread. All right. If we are happy with that, you have 10 discretionary points. You can spend those on your stats, or you can save them for later to buy attributes.
I think I'm going to save them.
Okay, let's put those 10 points in your pocket.
Yeah.
And move on to your class features. So, you started out as a warder, and the warder class is on page 82. 82, depending on where you are. All right. The first thing to do is to decide how many levels of warder you want to take. You have 9 levels, and you're going to get some extra levels of abilities to play with later, but I might just give... So let me real quick tell you how Coriander Society characters are working right now.
Okay.
Because again, there's some nonsense. They're all level 9. But in addition to being level 9, they're it's like normally when you multi-class, you get like, okay, so you get more hit points because you multi-classed, right? And you add all your class levels together. I have not been doing that. They have 9 levels in one class, but then they have like the abilities of 3 levels of another class without the hit points, without being 12th level characters. Just like if you read, so if you look at the Warder right now, the way that they would be treated is like you're a 9th level pet monster trainer, but also you get all the features, not the proficiency modifier, not the hit points, etc. But you get the features of the first 3 levels of a Warder.
Okay.
The thing is, though, because of the way that Anime 5e works, I could replicate that by just giving you a pile of extra points at the end for you to spend on whatever the heck you want. It would be, you'd get 30 points to play with at the end of all of this.
Sure.
I feel like that's going to be the most flexible, least annoying way to do this. So just keep in mind that when we're done with this, I'm going to throw 30 points at you to go nuts.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Warder class. You have 9 levels to play with, ignoring the bonus points from later. How do you want to split Warder and Pet Monster Trainer? What are you thinking?
Let me see. 5 for... Well, actually... Let's do 6 and 3.
Okay, so 6 levels of Warder. And I'll put this into chat as well. 3 Pet Monster Trainer. Because you can always spend those extra 30 points you get plus your 10 discretionary points to upgrade your pet monster stuff or something completely unrelated. Some superpower that has nothing to do with your class. Okay, so the Warder... Oh, I need to put that in chat for the record. Warder 6, Pet Monster Trainer 3. Okay. So the Warder, and also I do this in IOTH Academy as well. I'm just going to give max hit points per level. So for every level you get 6, and I think pet monster trainers only get 4 hit points per level. Yeah. Well, it's like in Smash, you know, the trainer sits in the background, right?
That's true.
Okay, so we'll handle hit points later. You know how to use shields, but not armor, because you just wear your tattoos. You don't need armor. So you can use a shield. You know how to use simple weapons. You know how to use one tool of your choice. And that's like how Ariana has jewelry making tools. You get one tool set of your choice. You can decide that now, or we can let it float for the time being. Uh-oh.
I hate that the first thing that came to my mind was a fishing rod.
That's fine. Or how about a net? How about a fishing net?
Ooh.
Because then it's not, you know, your coy friends, but you could still... Plus, not all fish are spirits. Some fish are just fish.
That's true. No, I'll have to think about it.
Okay, I'll put fish with a question mark on my notes. All right, you are proficient in strength saving throws. And you get 4 skills of your choice. And if you go to page 113, you will see a ton of different skills. And again, you can decide this now, or we can just write down 4 skills and figure it out later.
Oh boy.
And these are not the exact same as the traditional 5th edition fantasy skills.
Gaming.
True self-insert status achieved.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious. I would say street sense. Which is funny because, like,
it's a charisma-based skill. Yeah, I had that thought.
It's a little funny. It's gonna be fine. I'd say There's so many here.
There's a lot. Think about what would make sense for your character with your background, so on and so forth.
I'd also say acrobatics.
Good choice.
And navigation.
Now, did you want gaming, or were you just pointing out that it was there?
No,
Okay, because I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I was just pointing it out because I thought that was really funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I have acrobatics, navigation, and street sense so far, and you get 4 at this point.
Oh. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, let's put gaming as my 4th one.
All right, sweet.
Why not?
In this world, it wouldn't be video games, but your character is familiar with gambling games or strategy games or some sort inside of the world of Yokai Blossom. All right.
Amazing.
There we go. Acrobatics, gaming, navigation, and street sense. What else does your warder get at level 1? We did that. Okay, so now we get into the other abilities that you get. So first off, you get massive damage. And at level 1, you have 6 levels of this. So all your attacks, does not matter what kind of attack, anytime you make an attack, you deal +2 damage. Just anything.
What? That's busted.
All, and that's the thing about anime. All characters are equally busted, but they're all busted.
Go.
Your character can teleport 100 feet at a time whenever you feel like it.
That's true.
Like, I'll double check to make sure that that's how that works, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
That's the best.
What else we got? You have an armor. Oh, you have 1 form of special movement. Okay, so let's look at those special movement options. Where were they? They are on page 116. So there's a lot of options here. There's, again, being able to land on your feet, being able to slither like a sneaky snake, being untrackable, swinging through the vines, wall bouncing like an Assassin's Creed character. And you are going to get a total, because you're level 6 warder, you are going to get... Where'd you go? 3 forms of special movement.
Wall crawling.
Okay, easy. Okay, wall crawling is one of them.
Water walking.
That one counts as 2 modes of movement.
That's fine.
So you can climb walls and you can run across water. That's super. I can already see the shot, like the animated shot of.
Amazing.
All right, super cool. Oh, you're going to get some discretionary points as well. At level 2, you just get 2 points. So let's see how many of those you're going to get total. You get 2 at level 2, 2 at level 3, 2 at level 5. So you're going to get 8 more points. So you now have 18 points before we throw the 30 points of nonsense at you.
Oh my gosh.
So at the end of this, you're going to have to go shopping through the catalog of superpowers and figure out what else you want.
Oh boy.
Armor class bonus, you get a +2. And again, I am taking notes on all of this, and we'll put all this down. AC bonus +2, which again, you're not proficient in any kind of armor, but you just have +2 armor class because of your magic tattoos specifically. You get additional skill proficiencies so you get 1 additional skill proficiency at level 2. So we got to go back to the big old list on page 113.
Got you. Let's say There's so many. Oh my god.
We got options.
Physics.
Physics. Okay. I love it. I love it. A scientific plant spirit creature. Tell me if you take this, I just want to hear, like, did your character help build the wheels and pulleys and stuff that work in the area so you have like a knowledge of fundamental physics? If you go in for it.
Wall bouncing.
That makes sense.
I raise you 1 wall bouncing.
All right. For your movement, I have you listed as taking wall crawling and water walking, not wall bouncing. Oh, yes,
sorry. Well, wall crawling also, I feel like, has to do with, understanding.
I love the idea of, like, the math floating in front of you as you're calculating trajectories of stuff. I think that's fantastic, and I'm positive we'll find ways to use it.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the warder class. We did your special movement. We did all that. At level 3, you got your extra points. So first off, you get an ability score improvement at level 3 and at level 6. So take your ability scores, and you have 4 points that you have to spend on increasing ability scores.
Let's do 1 across the board. So strength, dex, constitution, and intelligence.
Smart. That gets you up to those nice even, get those numbers up. Big brain. I'll post those here so that people can see what the new numbers look like. And then you get something called transfer, which starts at level 3 and level 6. So the transfer ability allows you to extend your powers to protect other people.
That's so cool.
Let me, and you can do this with any ability that is up to rank 2. So let me see if I can pull up the exact thing. And I think the way I imagine this working is either you, like, draw temporary tattoos on other people, or you just touch them and your own tattoos flow onto them.
That would be so cool.
Okay. Tattoo transfer. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll pull up the details of that, but all your attributes have different ranks, and anything that is rank 2 or lower, you can transfer. Let's say you have something up to rank 8. You can still transfer that to somebody else, but they only get up to rank 2 of it. Okay. Yeah. And I'll have to see if you keep it at the same time or if, like, it leaves you and goes to them. Like, you have a rank 2 massive damage. Your massive damage is at rank 2, so you could transfer that to somebody else.
True.
Same with your armor class bonus.
Nice.
Okay, we already gave you your massive damage, and we gave you your forms of special movement. You get extra actions +1.
Okay. So
this is one of the places where Matt, who plays John Carmichael, is going to be upset. Because normally, as D&D characters level up, let's say fighters, barbarians, right? Mm-hmm. They get the extra attack feature. Have you ever played a high-level fighter or martial class? Okay, yeah. So you know how extra attack works, right?
Yep.
That isn't in Anime 5e. In Anime 5e, you just get extra actions, which you can use to make one additional attack or anything else you could do with an action.
Climb up a wall.
Exactly. So you get 1 extra action every round.
Neat.
And then at level 6, your transfer improve. Okay. So that's actually everything that your character gets so far. You've got your massive damage, you've got your special movement, your skills, your armor class bonus, and your tattoo transfer. Plus, you're sitting now on 18 extra points. Oh, and you have your extra actions.
Dang.
Those extra points you could use to give yourself a signature attack that, like, shoots lasers out of your eyes or something. We'll get there. Do you want to go shopping with those points now? Do you want to move on to taking your pet monster levels? Or is there something else you want to do first?
I think I'm okay for right now.
Okay. Then let's do your pet monster. Go ahead.
Unless can I use those to increase a class level?
You can't use those to increase a class level. You
Okay.
can use
Oh,
them
that's cool.
to improve the things your class level gave you. For example, you could use them to say, I want another form of special movement, or I want to increase. You can like literally just power those abilities up. What do you want to do?
Okay. I want to add another special movement.
All right, so you're going to go to the attributes, and the attributes are just like powers, abilities, right?
Yep.
And this is where the system just goes absolutely bonkers. Page 90, page 91, you have 18 points. You can see all the attributes that you have access to. Now, as a level 9 character, you do have a cap. None of your attributes can exceed rank 6.
I gotcha.
But I think everything you have is like rank 2 at this point. So go ahead and look at that list of attributes. You can open portals, you can shoot fireballs. There's a lot of options. And we haven't even picked up the attributes you're going to get for your 3 levels of pet monster trainer yet. So you said you wanted another form of special movement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Special movement costs 1 point.
Yeah, I'll take wall bouncing. Thank you.
Okay, done. Let me just add that. Wall bouncing, and you have 17 points left.
I would like to also add portals.
Okay.
If I can blink, so can my friends.
All right, so let's take a look at the portal ability. This is a really long description. Rank 1 portal, you have 17 points, and rank 1 portal costs 5 points.
Yep.
For every rank of portal that you have, you can open one specific portal. Now, that doesn't mean it's like, oh, I have to travel to the mountain and open the portal there. It means that is a portal that goes from one dimension to another dimension, or one place to another place.
Gotcha. That's still really cool.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But it does go from one dimension to another dimension. So if what you're looking for is the ability to take other people with you when you blink, you actually want to do that differently. But if you want to go dimension hopping, you literally can just say, I am now a dimensional traveler.
Oh, that's so neat. Oh, there's so many really cool ones. Yeah, I'm seeing the portal. Oh yeah, using portals on others. You can use them offensively to send one touched target to another dimension with or without going yourself.
Banish you to the Shadow Realm.
Wait, I have to take that. Yeah, I have to take that.
Or do you literally want to be able to send people to the Shadow Realm?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
You have 12 points. And let's see. So this requires the duration enhancement plus the target's enhancement to affect more than one creature. Okay, so the way that this works right now is if you want to be able to send other people away, then you have to enhance this. And let me pull up exactly how that works, because you can customize your abilities. So if you go to page 143, when you put an enhancement on something, you effectively reduce its rank by 1. So you can buy rank 1 portal, but if you want to use it on somebody else, you also have to buy the duration enhancement. And that means you have to buy rank 2 portal, because you spend 2 points. Okay, great. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, portal rank 2, that takes you from 12 points to 7 points remaining.
Yep.
And it has duration 1 on it. Duration 1, for those of you who don't have access to the book, is 10 minutes. So you can slap somebody, send them to the Shadow Realm for 10 minutes.
Cool.
Now, you have the points to buy Portal again, because you have 7 points left. So you could send someone to the Shadow Realm for an hour. Or you could you can add the range enhancement, so it works from 10 feet away. Or you can add the targets enhancement, so you can hit 2 people to the Shadow Realm. You see all these enhancements that you can add in order to empower it?
I like range. I can just Thanos snap somebody to the Shadow Realm.
Okay, so all right, so you want range 1?
Yeah.
Now you have range 1. So your portal is at rank 3 and it costs 15 points, but it has duration 1 for 10 minutes and range 1, so it can send one person up to 10 feet away.
Yep.
There is another thing you can do here called limiters.
Oh, man.
So enhancements make your abilities better, but they increase the effective rank cost. Limiters make your abilities worse, but do the opposite. For example, the backlash limiter. If you activate this ability and you fail, you suffer a backlash. That effectively increases its rank by 1. So you could get 5 points back or just make it even more powerful. The charges limiter. You can only use it 4 to 6 times a day, but it goes up 1 rank in power. Concentration. You have to stay focused on it to use it, but it goes up 1 rank. You see what all these things, how all these work?
Yeah.
And these can apply to any of your abilities as well. You can add enhancements and limiters to tweak your power levels.
Cool.
Let
me have a think on that one.
Okay, we're going to leave it as is. You have bought 3 ranks of Portal. You have 2 free points left before we give you 30 more points for Coriander Society nonsense.
Let's see what we have. Let's wait and use those for potentially pet monster training, because I forgot we still haven't done that yet.
Yes, we haven't done that yet. Do you want to go ahead and take your 3 ranks of that?
Yeah, let's do
your
it.
3 levels of that? Okay, cool. So with 2 discretionary points left and a new ability that has nothing to do with your class or your species that you just wanted, because Anime 5e is cool like that, let's talk about Pet Monster Trainer. Okay, Pet Monster Trainer. So for this one, you're not going to get any of the starting features on it. You're just going to get the 3 things on the page. So if you're on the page for that class, you're going to get 2 ranks of companion.
Yep. 1
rank of monster training, 4 floating points, and 1 extra skill proficiency.
Perfect.
So, let me just remove cat. All right.
Aww.
So let's start. I'll just throw the extra 4 points on. So you have 6 floating points. Let's do the easy thing first. You get to pick up yet another skill proficiency. Let's start there.
Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I lost the page.
It's okay. If you're in the PDF, it's linked on the side, and it's on page 113, 115, depending on what version you're using. It's the same version. It's just one has, like, the cover, you know?
Oh, I see. Oh, yep, I'm there. What is helming?
Helming is operating ships, boats, the helm.
Oh.
It has nothing to do with making cool hats, unfortunately. That also includes Sky Galleon. Actually, helming is just any vehicle, all vehicles.
Oh, okay. That's kind of neat. Probably not very useful.
I imagine there could be flying vessels. They wouldn't be like steam-powered, airships, but it'd be like a floating balloon or a sail ship that uses spirits to catch the wind and travel.
I think I'll take swimming.
All right. You can run on the water, but you can also dive underneath it. I'm here for it.
Yep.
Okay. Back to Pet Monster Trainer. We gave you your discretionary points. The most complicated thing here is going to be 2 ranks of companion.
Okay.
Because here's the thing about companion. It basically gives you a new character with their own pool of points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
All right, so companion is on page 95.
Yep.
And your companion has... So you can either have one companion with 60 points or one companion with 70 points or one with 60 and one with 40.
No. One companion with 70.
All right, and do you want this to be your koi defender?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
That fish is coming with me everywhere.
Let's go to page 95 and look at the companions. Okay. They're constructed on the same way as a... Made the same way as a normal character. So, here's how you can do this. So your companion has 70 points. They're going to need to have their own ability scores. And they're going to need to be built. So you can either build them from the ground up, or you can just say, my companion, my koi fish companion is a samurai. So I'm going to have the ability scores, and I'm going to make him a samurai. You want to do that?
Yes.
Cool. So being a level 1 samurai will cost 20 points. 10. Okay. There's like a 10 buy-in plus 10 per level. So we're going to say samurai 2 for now, and that leaves your koi with 50 points.
Yep.
You can either divide those amongst the ability scores, roll for those ability scores, or just assign them out to fill in the ability scores. How do you want to do that?
Should we roll again?
I don't see why we don't roll again.
Let's do it. All right. 6 times.
Just remember to drop the lowest and give me the totals one at a time.
Okay. 6, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, 6, 2, 2.
Okay, so 10.
Yep. 6, 5, 5.
Ooh, 16.
3, 2, 1.
6.
Jeez, it's taking a page out of my book. Uh-oh.
Dice down.
I landed on a 3. Hold on. 5, 5, 3.
Okay, 13.
6, 6, 1.
13. And one more.
And then one more.
Mm-hmm.
5, 5, 6.
All right.
And that 4th dice was a 4.
So here's the problem. You aren't actually going to be able to have those scores because you only have 50 points to spend on this guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So let's take a look. Do some quick math, and it's just 1-to-1 for each of these. So that is 74 points of ability scores. Now, you have 6 points you're sitting on.
Fish OP.
You have those 6 floating points that you still have that you can spend on your fish. But that's still only going to get you up to like... So basically, not only do we have to assign these, but then we have to tone them down a bit.
Yeah.
So do we want to sort them out first?
Let's do that.
Okay, where do we want to put these ability scores? And I will type them into chat for posterity.
Let's see. That's a lot.
It is. You have to go down by 24 points.
Okay. That's going to be a little tough. Let's see. Because I can't have it mirror me either, can I?
No, because your ability scores are going to be higher. This is why most like Pokemon or starting pet monsters, Most Pokemon don't have human level intelligence. They're smarter than animals, but they're not, they're going to have like lower stats. And then as time goes on, they'll get up, but they won't have the same high stats as a human. Not in their first evolution. Think of this as like a, not a super high level Pokemon.
Ooh, I have an idea.
What do you got?
Does 11, 13, 4, 8, and 9 work?
If you spend your 6 remaining points.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You said 11,
11,
13,
13.
4,
Intelligence is a 4.
8, 9.
Yeah.
All right. These are going to be the stats. I'm going to go ahead and enter these in. Dex, Con, Int, Wiz, Shaw.
Whew.
All right. These are the stats of your level 2 Samurai Fish.
Let's go.
Now, there's another wrinkle we'll get to, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
And do you want to figure out the samurai stuff? Pick all your, because there might be some choices that have to be made for the fish to be a samurai. Let's just do those next. Let's
Sure.
take care of those next. Okay. So I like how your one character effectively has 3 different classes.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Samurai page 74.
Okay.
He's going to be pretty tough, so he's going to have 20 plus hit points. I'll handle the hit points and make the stat block for your fish, your Koi Guardian later. And has proficiency in all armor and shields.
Wow.
All right, so all armor and shields. Simple and martial weapons. 1 tool. What tool does your samurai fish know how to use? That being said, no, yeah, it does have to work that. No. You could actually get rid of that tool proficiency and just cash it in for the points. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
because a tool is different than a weapon.
Correct. A tool is like fishing rod, blacksmith, cooking.
Yeah. Let's get rid of it.
Okay, that gives you 1 point back.
Okay.
You can spend it on an ability score increase, or you could hold on to it for the time being. But it has to be spent on your minion. Can't be spent on you.
Let's drop it into strength.
Cool. So strength goes up to a 12, and your Samurai Koi Guardian does not have any tool proficiencies. But he does have strength and wisdom saving throws. Which, again, let me know if you want to chuck any of these, but they could be helpful.
No, it's good.
And 3 skills of your choice.
My fish also has skills.
Your fish also has skills. They're worth 3 points each, so you can cash them in if you want, but it could be handy to have a skillful fish ally.
I think that's worth it. Let me pull those back up. Let's give it proficiency in I'm trying to remember. Okay, charisma's not bad. His intelligence and his wisdom are not great.
Intelligence is really not great. Actually, your wisdom and charisma have the same modifier, even though one's higher than the other. They have the same mod.
Okay. Let's give the fish a helming proficiency.
Fish, drive! I love it.
I like it. Oh, that's so funny. let's also do. Let's give the fish a riding proficiency also.
Let's go.
Oh no. And traps.
Okay. All right. Helming, riding, and traps. A mighty hunter piloting fish chauffeur. I love it. I am here for it. Okay. So that's all the starting stuff. Your fish has edge, which means advantage on all initiative checks.
Nice.
So fast draw fish.
Love it.
And +1 spare point that can go anywhere you want, but it does have to go to the fish, not you. And fast level 1, which means that your fish moves at 60 feet.
Cool.
So it can't teleport, but is a very speedy fish.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with that 1 point? You could spend it on ability scores. You could use it to buy an attribute down the line.
Let's put it into charisma.
Okay, to bring that up to an even 10.
Yeah, just in case.
All right. So we'll give your samurai fish some gear, some equipment. We'll handle all that down the line. I figure. Did you have an idea of some kind?
No, I just think it's hilarious that my fish has more charisma than my character. So
your fish is sworn to protect you with their life.
It's fine.
All right. Awesome. So, under normal circumstances, the next point would be to do a ton of math because you spent all your discretionary points, you've picked all of your skills, you've detailed out your companion. Oh, no, we missed something. Let me go back to the pet monster trainer because we've used all your companion ranks. You have a rank 2 companion, but we still have to give you 1 rank of monster training.
Yes.
And that is, so you get 1 special monster training technique, which is on page 108. So monster training lets you power up or train or improve your creature, and each rank gives you a different ability. Some of these are the full Pokedex. Some of these are you recognize other trainers and their styles. Some of them are you have a rhyming battle motto that you can use. So go ahead and take a look at these and pick one of them that you like, and that becomes something you can use to empower your samurai fish.
Oh, there's so many good ones.
There's a lot of options.
I'm going to go with Analyze Monster.
Okay, Analyze Monster. So for those of you at home, you can identify all commonly known species of pet monsters. So in this case, your character would be familiar with the various blossom spirits, almost all of them, and be able to immediately know. And if you discover a new one, you get advantage on the check. So you'd be able to identify their hit points, elemental associations, size, apparent health, posture. Yep. All right, that's really cool. So you are a specialist in yokai. That's going to actually be really helpful should any off-worlders arrive and have no idea what's going on. All right. Yeah. Pet monster training, analyze monster. Cool. So at this point, we've given you all your class features. We've given you your features for being a blink beast. We've created your companion creature. Aside from the 30 points of nonsense that I am going to give you, there is one more thing to talk about.
Okay.
Aside from gear, which we'll deal with later. The last thing to talk about is you can purchase defects. to get more points. I said earlier that
Emotional damage.
exactly. So these are in chapter 6 on page 132. And there's a ton of them, and each of them refunds you points. Some of these are things like you're cursed. There's literally one that is you have fanboys or fangirls. It's called magnet. If you have the magnet defect, everywhere you go, you're surrounded by fans who are trying to get your attention, and they slow you down and they're annoying. There's a bunch of options you can use to recreate anime tropes or just to build into this character. Some of them include you are cursed. You go into a furious rage when exposed to something. You deal automatically less damage. You have some obvious mark that people see and they think you're a demon or an outsider. You have a nemesis who haunts you. You have nightmares. You have some sort of an obligation that's all over you. You have a terrible secret.
Oh, I know.
What do you have in mind?
I don't know. My eyes immediately went to Blind Fury.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Blind Fury. So, under specific conditions, you will enter a state of unbridled anger during which you will furiously attack the closest person, whether they are friend or foe. There are 3 ranks of Blind Fury. And again, I'm reading this all out because chat doesn't have it. I know you've got it in front of you. Rank 1 is worth 2 points, and it's kind of hard. The situations that put you into this fury are difficult, and it's not hard to bring you out of it. Rank 2 is it's somewhat difficult for you to enter this state, and it's somewhat difficult for you to leave. Rank 3 is the Incredible Hulk. It's incredibly easy for you to enter a Blind Fury, and getting out of it is very, very difficult. That's worth 6 points. So what do you think would put your character into this reckless rage?
I think it would have to be... Can it be 2 things?
Sell me on it. It's all designed to be very flexible.
Yeah, so I think one of them would be obviously like I get hurt enough to the point where it's like I have to go sicko mode or else like that's not going to end well. I think the other situation I could definitely see is if I see something that goes so morally against my moral alignment and like what my character believes in, I think that could be cool also.
Let's talk about the first condition.
Okay.
What counts as severely injured? Below half health? Below
a quarter
health? Okay. What sort of things would you describe as going incredibly against your alignment?
So I'm somebody that is supposed to be protecting blossoms and like protecting the world as it is now after the steel world has disappeared.
Right.
I think that I guess it does get a little bit tricky. But I would say something that is against the moral alignment at this moment is seeing... Well, I guess I would have to know a little bit more about the steel world, so maybe we'll come back to that. But that is like an idea I would like to put on the table just in case. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I would say. Hangry would actually be what I took if I was isekaiing myself into this world. Not for this character though. Or for Ariana in IOP Academy, perhaps.
That's just me on a regular basis. Like, I get so hangry.
It's a combination of like, I get grumpy, but my brain just stops working,
Yeah. No, I see you guys. I would go hangry, but like, it's just me on a regular basis.
It's a fantasy world. We're supposed to expand our horizons.
I would like to not experience that on a regular basis. Although I
Okay.
know I could play that really well.
So I would say that below one
Uh,
quarter health would be rank 1 Blind Fury, because it's relatively hard to get you all the way down there, and all it takes to get you out of that is to get you healed back up.
yeah.
Depending on how stringent the moral alignment stuff is. So what are some examples of that? Some examples of that would be massive destruction of the natural world,
Yes.
hostility of some kind against blossom spirits,
Yes.
the resurgence of the steel. You know what I mean? I think those things would count. So depending on how severe or how much it would take, like, oh, one blossom spirit gets wrecked, does that do it, or does it have to be something egregious?
I think it has to be egregious.
Okay.
I think it would have to be like a small massacre,
Mm-hmm.
like 5 to 10.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is the combination of those two adds up to rank 2 Blind Fury, which
Yes.
gives you 4 points to play with, which brings your total discretionary points before Coriander Society nonsense, which we're going to do basically when we get to the last point. We're just going to give you those extra points, and you can go to town on buying stuff. All right, so morally against alignment. Cool. So you have 4 floating points to play with. What else? Are there any other defects you're interested in purchasing? Anything else that makes sense for your character?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I see.
The one I can think of is, I don't know about obligated. Obligated would be like if you have a severe duty to the Botan Hana family, like something really important that really binds you down, a very strict code you have to follow. You kind of already have that with the Blind Fury. It's more your self-imposed thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you think you're good, we can go ahead and... All right, excellent. Then, before I do all the number crunching, 30 points of nonsense. You have 34 points to play with. You can spend those to improve your existing attributes or to purchase new ones. If you want to improve your Samurai Pizza Fish, then you would just buy more ranks of the companion attribute. And every rank you buy gives a certain number of points. The attributes are all located in Chapter 5. The cost shows you how much it costs per rank. And remember, you can go up to rank 6 in any of them.
There's so many good ones.
Oh, yeah. Shape-shifting. The weapon attribute is a generic attribute that can be used for any attack, because you can also combine it with limiters and enhancements, so you can shoot lasers out of your eyes or do dragon punches or like anything you can make up. Any offensive capabilities would be under weapon. You'll also be able to just equip weapons, because we haven't given you any actual attacks yet. So you can just have normal weapons. But the weapon attribute will give you special attacks. The item attribute gives you special items that are like your signature cool sword, mask, claw, whatever. So yeah, absolutely go to town.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want to take a short? Do you want to take a short break? We've been at this for a little over 90 minutes. We can take a break if you want.
I'm okay to keep going.
If you're good, let's keep it up.
I want to keep going because we're kind of on a roll here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that it would be really, really fun if I could do something. Okay, so how much would it cost for me to make my fish level 9? Like me.
I don't know if that's going to be possible, because right now you have 2 ranks of companion.
Okay.
You can buy up to 4 more ranks of companion. Every rank of companion that you buy gives your fish 10 points. So it costs you 5 points. It gives your fish 10 points. So if you bought 4 more ranks, it would cost you 20 points. and it would give your fish 40 points, which could be 4 more levels of samurai, or you could give your fish a breath weapon, or you could do, just increase your fish's stats. You'd have a lot of options. So if you want to crank your companion up to that like most powerful possible, blow 20 points on 4 more ranks of companion.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So 4 ranks of companion. You had 34 points. You now have 14 points. And you have 40 points to spend on your companion. You can just go up to samurai level, what'd that be, 6? You can go up to samurai level 6, or you can make other changes, or you can mix and match. That's the thing. The system's all about mixing and matching.
How much would it be to give my fish a special weapon?
You would use the item. You'd purchase the item attribute.
Okay.
Which works similarly. It creates a new item that has its own points that you spend to customize it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you get more out of it because it's an item that can be taken away.
Oh, true. Okay. Let's do 4 points of samurai. Let's do 4 extra levels in that direction.
All right. Back up to the top with samurai. We're back in there. So level 3 gives +1 bonus point and an ability score improvement.
Okay.
And so hold on. Let's just go ahead and do this. So you're gonna get 1, 2. You're gonna get 2 free points to spend on your fish, and you're going to get 2 ability score improvements, which means you have 4 points you can spend on your fish's ability scores, which are, I will send them to you to make sure that you have those. They are as follows: 12 strength, 11 dex, 13 con, 4 intelligence, 8 wisdom, 10 charisma. You have 4 ability score points to spend.
Okay, let's go dexterity and constitution.
Okay.
And let's do 2 into strength.
Great. Your fish's stats are now, and I will post them in chat. Strength 14, dex 12, con 14, int 4, wisdom 8, charisma 10. All right. That is taken care of. Next up, we did that. Your fish gets the special ability combat technique, Judge Opponent. So your fish can size people up. Combat technique, Judge Opponent.
I'm just imagining this fish.
Are you imagining the fish when he's a full warrior being like this tall? Okay. Here's the thing about that. We can do that, and that would give your fish more points. It would make him do less damage, but it would give your fish more points. Okay, all right.
No. I just, it's because I had this image in my head because I forgot that they get bigger.
It grows into like a fish person instead of literally just being fish attack.
I thought it was just like a foot tall fish with a sword.
Again, with this system, you could literally build that.
So it's okay. We're good. We'll go with it. It's fine.
All right. So at level 5, your fish acquires the combat technique 2 weapons. So your fish dual wields.
Yes. I love it.
And you get Inspire. Your fish is an inspiring warrior who can cheer you on to fight harder. Inspire rank 1. And at level 6, your fish gets +3 massive damage. So, but it has a limiter on it. Your massive damage is anytime you attack at all. Your fish does +1d6, but only with melee weapons.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's, again, how you can put limiters on things to make them stronger. So you deal +2 damage on all attacks. Your fish deals +1d6 damage on all melee attacks.
Okay. But it's a dual wielder now.
Yes.
So
now that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Okay. And aside from the gigantic pile of hit points that your fish also has, that is it for the fish. Oh, no, you have 2 floating points. You can either spend them for your fish. You can either spend them on attributes or on ability scores.
Let's do it on ability scores.
Where do you want to put it?
Let's give the fish 6 intelligence.
Slightly smarter fish.
Maybe a little less goldfish brain.
Okay. You have 14 points remaining to spend because you just upgraded your fish's companion ranks a lot. You have 14 points. You don't currently have any weapons. And again, you can have normal equipment, normal gear. So you can tell me how you want to fight. And if it's mundane weaponry, I'll just figure it out for you. But you have 14 points you can spend on any attribute you want. You can also buy defects for your fish, by the way, if you want your fish to have more points.
No, it has enough of a defect with its intelligence score. It's okay. I think let's explore. That's okay. That's a little too much. Can I increase my massive damage?
Yes, your massive damage is only at rank 2 right now, I think.
Let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so that costs 5 points to increase massive damage to rank 3.
Okay.
Which leaves you with 9 points.
Okay. And we already did transfer.
You have transfer rank 2.
Okay. Oh, there's so many good ones. It's so difficult to pick.
Do you have any directions that you want to send your character right now?
Yeah, I was actually really interested in looking at forced disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find it.
It's on page 102.
Okay.
And essentially, you, in specific situations, depending on how high rank this is, your enemies will get disadvantage against you. So, for example, the first rank 1 is moderate disadvantage, which is enemies have a, let's say, disadvantage against detecting. If you were a stealthy character, because you didn't take stealth proficiency, you could say they have disadvantage when they're trying to perceive me and I'm using stealth against them. That's an example.
Oh, cool. Oh, but it's self only. Rip. Because I was wondering if you could like transfer it.
Yeah, you can if you buy an enhancer. Because remember, you can put enhancers on any attribute. What do you have in mind?
That would be cool. So if I just did rank 1, it's one type of skill.
Yeah, one specific matchup, basically. Or again, if they had to make saves against you could purchase forced disadvantage when anybody is trying to resist your portals. And then every time that they try to resist your portals, they would have disadvantage on it. That's one example, right?
That is quite cool.
You can also buy more enhancers for your portals, by the way.
Oh, wait. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So your portal right now is at rank... Because you bought 3 ranks with it. Where's your portal? Or did I write down Shadow Realm? Okay, there it is. So it's at rank 3 and has duration 1 enhancement and range 1 enhancement and no inhibitors right now. It can go up to rank 6. Now, if you go up to rank 6, normally when you buy more portal, it just, again, it just gives you more places you can send people or more places you can go. Because technically, whatever the Shadow Realm is, you not only can you send people there, you can also go there. You can also open a portal right now.
That's really cool.
So if you look at the enhancements on page 142, for every rank of you have 9 points left, which is enough for one, because it costs 5 points per rank. So you could buy one more rank of portal and add one enhancement to it, increasing its range, increasing the number of targets, or bumping it from 10 minutes to an hour, or something else entirely.
Ooh. Let me see. So I already have range and duration.
But only rank 1 on each of those.
Oh, that's right.
And that rank can be increased. So
yeah, I want to increase the... Let's increase the duration.
all right. So rank 4 portal,
Yeah.
duration 2, which means that instead of sending somebody there for 10 minutes, you send them for an hour.
Yep.
And you have 4 points left.
Oh my goodness. This is so crazy.
It's a huge catalog, and it's all every single piece of it can be tweaked with.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This book is honestly so big.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things that you can do with everything, and I think that's really fun.
Attributes are on page 91 if you were looking for it.
Yeah. It's just a lot. Wait, water speed.
Yeah, water speed that would let you swim
really fast.
real fast. How fast does it go? Let's go there real quick. Water speed. Okay, so rank 1 water speed, for those of you keeping score at home, is you move 30 feet per round. Rank 2 is you move 90 feet per round. You could go up to rank 4, which will let you swim at 100 miles an hour.
I can't imagine we're going to find ourselves in many situations where water will be present, but honestly, that's so enticing. I'm going to do it anyway.
Do you want to put all 4 points into it?
Yes.
All right, you can now swim like Aquaman.
Let's go.
Water speed 4. All right, cool. That is your last points.
Amazing.
I think you're all set across the board. I mean, I'm going to put all this together on a character sheet for you, but you've created a blink beast marked with magical tattoos who can send people to another dimension, swim at 100 miles an hour, teleport, and has a samurai fish in a fish bowl you carry with you who you unleash in order to attack.
Yep.
That is wild. That is a heck of a character.
It's so cool.
Okay, so now that we've gone through all of that, do you have any other questions? Is there anything else that you want to go over?
I don't think so.
Okay, then let's do one more thing here. A couple of more little story notes, right? And I'll try to put the character sheet up for folks who are done looking. And I need to put a command in chat so people can find Anime 5e. But I hope this has given everybody an idea of the degree of customization that's possible here. Whenever you create a new companion, it's a whole new pool of points that you can completely customize. Whenever you create a special item, it's a whole new pool of points you can customize. And this teleporting shadow dimension banishing character that Nekkra's created is just one selection of options. Also, chat has. Oh, I think we're back. Yep.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so acts of God don't work yet. I thought I had programmed them to work, but they do not. So there is ye old scuff. Yes, the scuff has been deployed.
I love it.
We will pull an act of God to. You know what? I wonder if I can. I'm gonna do an incredibly scuffed act of God. All right, you ready? You ready? Bam. Secret passage.
Ooh.
So remember in your origin story for Ioth Academy, how we did the acts of God weren't just like this thing happens, it also had an impact on your character. Like if you got
yeah.
So same thing here. We just pulled secret passage.
Cool.
I'm trying to think how we're going to apply that. Well, let me I know how we're going to work this. She's going to teleport on the May wall.
I get fined for that. We're going to have to do this whole character creation history over again.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to revert to a previous state.
My 6-year-old son was watching that and is extremely disappointed in the illegality of those actions. I had to console him.
Oh my god. Yeah, go to Overwatch jail.
It's okay. My fish will bonk you on the head for it. It's fine.
All right. So, Portal. Actually, that makes sense. Portals, paths between realities. What I want to do, I want to talk a little bit about the story that we're going to have here. Where our adventure is going to pick up in 2 weeks. Not tomorrow, in 2 weeks. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about how they end up in your world.
Yep.
Just need to find something real quick. There it is. Okay, so your character. Have you had any ideas for names yet? I know that's always tricky, and we don't need to do that today. We didn't even know who your character was yet.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just setting up a thing in the chat. So why don't we... Do you have any ideas about your character's backstory yet? And if not, let me know, because we have ways.
So the only backstory that I've come up with so far is that, you know, once the Steel Worlds disappeared, somehow I came to be there. So I don't know if I'm like really old or if I'm like a younger generation of Blink Beast. But I've been in this particular village for as long as I can remember. And as such, you know, hearing about the history of and maybe some of the discourse about how everything kind of came to be. I don't necessarily know how Blink Beasts got there, but maybe as kind of a racial burden, I feel the necessity to like prove people that like I'm fine and like Blink Beast as a whole are fine. And so I've been doing that by being the hench person of whoever the top dog is of this place.
Okay. Blink Beasts. So, Blink Beasts are They're inherently connected to the bloom, to the blossom spirits. They
Mm-hmm.
are almost like plant people, plant creatures themselves in a way.
Mm.
They have thick hides that are actually a form of bark. Their faces are wooden masks. You can see eyes behind them, but their faces are like these wooden masks. I'm almost picturing. Well, I'm not picturing the Koroks from Breath of the Wild, but there's some similar aesthetic there where they like you rarely see their face because they've got this mask on. So do you have any idea what your character looks like? And we don't need a full description, but if you have a tree or a plant in mind for what your bark, your skin would be like, what's the consistency, what's the texture? It can be a wild anime color. We can be full, gotta have blue hair mode. What does your mask look like? Let's do some aesthetics here.
Okay. Blue bark. And like a white mask.
Okay. What color eyes?
Like bright neon blue.
And what sort of shape is your mask?
Oh man. Trying to think. I want to do something that's a little bit like within the world because I feel like that would make a lot of sense.
And the mask doesn't have to. Sorry, go ahead. You're on a roll here.
Let's do like a peony petal. Like a white peony petal.
Okay, sweet. Perfect. So you have a deep connection to the Botan family spirits, that particular type of blossom spirit.
Yes.
All right. I imagine that the Blink Beasts are sort of like a link between the spirits and mortals. They aren't spirits themselves.
Yep.
But they might come from the same place that the bloom came from, which remains this kind of mystery to most folk. Now, you have the ability to shapeshift into a human. What does your human identity look like?
Oh boy. I feel like the Blink Beast would be pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the human version of that Blink Beast would be smaller. Not like tiny, but like, like a medium build, medium height.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like keeping long white hair and then the same color blue for the tattoos for warding.
Okay, sweet. Awesome. How is your character dressed when in human form?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, how would that particular village dress? Because I feel like I would try to fit in.
It would wear, for the most part, relatively simple garb, focusing on practicality with some beauty inlaid in there. Big focus on the 5 main colors of sort of the 5 branches of the Botan family. You would probably have kimonos for ceremonial occasions, more simple tunics under normal circumstances, special ceremonial robes in some kinds, wrapped clothes. Again, people are working the fields, people are building things by hand. So I think that a lot of the clothes focus on like a simple main garment, but with a sash or a scarf or a mantle of some kind of that they take a lot of pride in terms of the decor and the beauty.
Oh my god, what is the thing called? I think immediately what came to my mind was, you know how in Spirited Away they have the like, because I actually have one that my mom made for me. Uh, but it's kind of like that working outfit of like if you're doing work around like the fields or wherever have you. I don't know. That's the thing that came into my mind first.
Okay, so let's see if we can find a picture of it. But I think I get where you're going. We'll see if we can find a picture and a name for the outfit and go from there.
I'm trying to.
Um,
Yeah, I don't.
but does your character wear like relatively unassuming clothes, not like anime protagonist zippers
No.
everywhere? Okay.
Yeah, very unassuming.
All right, we're not
And
going
like
Final
probably like,
Fantasy 10-2 here.
yeah, I guess it is kind of like a smock, isn't it? But it's the way they tie it that makes it always look different.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think I get
Yeah.
what you're saying here. We'll get some reference images up when we get the chance. All right.
Uh,
Do you want your character to be older, younger? Do you not know? Do you want to let the dice decide?
If I'm like a in between the spirit world, I don't think I know. I actually kind of
Okay.
wonder how good my sense of time is, just as a whole.
Okay, so that's something that your character struggles with. Sense of time, potentially immortal, struggles with temporal causality.
That is what it's called. Thank you.
All right. I will develop the character of your mentor, the person who you answer to, who you're trying to basically serve as this envoy between the Blossom spirits and mortals to make sure everyone knows, hey, this new world is good. I imagine that you'd be extremely welcome, Raiders. We are making anime characters
Hi.
using Daisgami Publishing Company's Anime 5e rules. We've gotten through the customization section. Nekkra's created a teleporting, tattooed warrior with a fish samurai spirit guardian who can send you to the Shadow Realm.
Uh,
Uh,
it's gonna be great.
Is that a good summary? Are there key pieces that I missed there,
No,
Nekkra?
that's pretty good. That's
All
pretty
right.
good.
All right. Okay. So your character is this important envoy. Does your character feel a particular way about the Steel World from before?
I would say that they're probably against it because of having that deep connection with the bloom and like the bloom spirits
Mm-hmm.
and essentially being a part of that and not really knowing anything else. I think
Mm-hmm.
would be against changing things
Okay.
as they are.
All right. And I think you'd have this innate sense that the bloom was a response of the world, like a defense mechanism that the world implemented when it was threatened, when life was
Yep.
threatened. All right. You emerged from the wilds, from deep within the bloom itself, from the places where the flowers are so huge, enormous, and the jungles and the plants are so dense that mortals don't dwell there. You emerged into the Botan village. This character who you work with, how did that come about? Were they the first person to welcome you? Did you watch them from afar and believe in their cause? What's the nature of that relationship?
Hmm. Well, the I think it's I believed in them because like when you think
Mm-hmm.
about the Botan as a family or as like a branch, um I feel like their cause is definitely something that my particular character would want to keep alive
Mm-hmm.
because they're true, yeah, like they're truth seekers, like they're about purity and I would assume that the world as they know it now is peak vision for them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
It's full of challenges that make everybody better by facing them, but also it's tightly bound communities. They're all about it as it is right now. What sort of other friends does your character have in the community? You have this, there's this interesting dichotomy going on where you established early on that community, carefully tended emotional bonds, togetherness is very important to your character, but you're also an outsider.
yeah, I think that I've been around long enough, maybe, that people just see me as a part of the community, and at some point I earned their respect. But then also, my character likes to do just nice things for everyone. It's not just going off on the whims of the head honcho, but
Mm-hmm.
also, seeing what kind of differences I can make around the village to help improve people's livelihoods. So,
Do the people know that you're a blink beast?
you know what? Yeah, I think they do.
And they accept you as you are. I like that.
Yes.
What is your fighting style? You have your Koi Guardian, who we're absolutely going to need to come up with a name for. But you've also got your massive damage, which you increased to rank 3. How do you deal that damage?
Ooh, like oh, wow. Um through like a big Yeah, I think it's through like a stomp of my foot when like I
Mm-hmm.
attack, and I think it's kind of tremor damage isn't the right word, but
Mm-hmm.
it does create like a very large movement of the earth.
Hmm. Now, because we don't have any points left under normal circumstances, we would need to spend some points on giving you a new attack, the
Okay.
weapon attribute, in order to give you a stomp. And then we could rank it up to increase the damage, and then massive damage would automatically kick in. And we could use enhancements to make it so it had like an area of effect, stuff like that. We could build out the whole thing with those points. But you don't actually have any points left. So we can either cash in some points and remove things that you've already taken, or we can just give your character some like weapons, standard weapons, equipment that you would use. Because a special attack like that would cost some points.
Hmm. I think then let's take out the swimming. I know that was really fun,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe those 4 points would be enough in order to get me the ability to ground pound my way to victory.
Okay, so the weapon attribute only costs 1 point.
Okay.
And a rank 4 weapon will do, where is it? The weapon attribute is on page 124.
Okay.
Oh, a rank 4 weapon does 3d6 or 2d8 damage, or 4d4 damage. However, that's a melee weapon attack. That doesn't have area
Wow.
of effect or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think we need that much. Do you think it would work if I just paid for level 1 and then or no, paid for level 2, I guess, and then got some enhancements on top of that to make it an area of effect?
So remember that every enhancement reduces the effective rank by 1. So
Yes.
if we spend 4 points on it, that gives you a cap of 3d6, 2d8. And then as we
Mm.
add each enhancement, if you're looking at page 124 and you see the weapon damage dice table, that's
Yeah.
going to show you how this will work. So let's see the area enhancement. So 1 point, 1 increase, your weapon will attack everyone in 10 feet. That would reduce the damage of each attack to 2d6 or 1d10 or 1d12.
Mm.
Plus your massive damage, plus your strength attribute. However, that would also hit all of your friends in the area. There's an
Yeah.
enhancement for that, I think. It is. Let's see.
Wait, I have an idea. Can I use my ward tattoos as a part of how I attack?
What do you have in mind?
So, like, let's say I was able to put my hand out or just like do kind of like a force palm like attack at somebody,
Mhm.
and some of my ward tattoos shot off like like into them to do additional massive damage.
All right,
Like just 3 points.
that is
You know.
super cool.
Okay.
So,
I like that. And then we don't have to change anything, right?
well, the thing is, without spending points on anything, the only way you can attack is if you buy a weapon. So your character
Okay.
can have a sword or a bow staff or something like that. That won't cost you any points. You'll be able to use that weapon using its own stats. You'll have your massive damage on top of it. That doesn't cost you any points. That's just what it is.
Okay.
If you want your tattoo force attack to be like an attack you can do that deals force damage instead of slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, whatever, that would be a weapon attribute you'd have to spend points for.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then. Whatever
Okay.
points I need to spend to make that happen, you can take it away from swimming 100 miles an hour.
All right. So, how do you want this attack to behave? What range do you want it to be? A ranged attack?
Not really. I just really want it like if I make contact with somebody, I feel like that's the big thing.
Okay. So, if it's just a punch attack where you hit somebody and your tattoos zap them,
Yeah.
you could deal 3d6 damage per attack. Plus your 3 points of massive damage. Plus, what is even your strength right now? Strength is 14 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would be dealing 3d6 plus 5 damage with every attack. And
Cool.
and I think you could make it force damage. Which
Let's do it.
Okay, that's sick. That's so cool. Okay. Tattoo
So
attack,
cool.
force damage, 3d6 plus 5. And I just want to confirm you don't want any weapon enhancements on that. They're on page 125. They would reduce the damage of your attack, but they can make it hit an area. They can make it do all sorts of stuff. You can drain their energy. You can incapacitate them. Or you can just deal, because again, if you don't put any enhancements on it, it just deals a crap load of damage.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna stick to just damage.
Okay. Pure damage. We're here for it. Okay. So you live in this village. You live in the Botan village. You emerged from the bloom. You were drawn to the cause of this great leader who believes in truth and purity and takes care of the dead of the village. And this leader is the person who's concerned about the other Hana families that are trying to revive the steel to become rich to restore this land. Also concerned about this curse that is separating the families from their blossom spirits. You do all sorts of helpful things in the village. You can no longer swim at 100 miles per hour, unfortunately.
Sad.
But you hit like an absolute train with your force tattoos. So when you just walk up to people and you can teleport 100 feet. So you can just poof, bam, absolutely smack them. All right. You've lived in this village for a while. Let's say that you know Orvi Onayuri.
Okay.
But let's figure out how. So Orvi Onayuri is a broker, ambitious merchant half-dragon. There's a number of half-dragons amongst the Onayuri family. Snarky, sarcastic, but charming. Always been ambitious. Almost desperate to be somebody to matter. And he wields the Onayuri gold. Around his neck, he has this fine golden chain with discs, golden discs on it, like coins with holes in the middle. And it's imbued with the magic of the family. He can wield them as weapons. He can shoot them and throw them out. But he's not much of a fighter. He's, again, rising in prominence as a merchant in the family. And he is one of the big people who's like, we could live such incredible lives if we brought the steel back instead of living this rural lifestyle. How did your character know him growing up?
I would think that, well, Orvie sounds like a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going from village to village, trying to
Yeah.
deals with each of the families. So I feel like I would have I would have been the mediator, or like the in between
Mm-hmm.
Orvie and the person I'm working for. So I feel like I
Okay.
would have had the most interaction with him.
Okay, and how did you two get along?
Not great.
All right.
Don't think I like him.
All right. He was trying to be charming and trying to be friendly, and we'll actually have some art of him that I'll be able to show off.
Smells like BS.
And is that how you were? You just sort of like actively questioning and challenging him? Was he making jokes and you just weren't laughing? Or are you giving him the silent treatment? How did that go down?
Well, trying to think about my own stats for my character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the best charisma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't assume I'd be very charming about, or like eloquent in the way that I would handle this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be pretty blunt with
Okay.
him, just be like, don't like that. Don't like you.
Or if it was like, you Botan folks have a unique knack for negotiation. Very, very distinct negotiation tactics and
No,
manners.
just don't like you.
Yeah, that. Okay. So we'll say that he is never he for a while.
Yeah.
No, I know how this goes down. He makes a point of stopping by Botan on all of his journeys after this because he thinks it's hilarious. He gets a kick out of just like trying to be witty and getting completely no-sold by you. And every single time he comes back, he has new jokes and new ways he's trying to just like poke at you to get a response out of you. And it's just always very flat, very blunt, not laughing at his jokes. And so he's determined at some point, I'm going to make this Blink Beast laugh. I'm going to figure it out.
I love it. That's
All
perfect.
Right. Now, we have a secret passage in your backstory, thanks to an act of God, that we need to work in here some way. Do you have any other ideas or things? There's a cool survey. There's a cool character quiz that I will make sure you have access to from it's in the book. It is on page, and if this is in the free packet, I'll actually distribute this afterwards. Okay. It's on page 26. Let's run through this, and then we'll close up by going over the story so far and what's going to happen next.
All right.
All right. So the first question is, what are your character's central strengths and weaknesses?
Okay, so strength is you know what? So strength would be their connections. A weakness would be their sense of duty.
Connection and obligation. That's sort of the two sides of your character.
Yep.
What's your primary emotional state?
Deadpan. Even keel.
Impossible to read?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like the idea that Blink Beasts have these wooden masks as their faces, and when you shift, it may not be wood, but it's still a mask.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get it quite right. It's okay.
What role does your character fill in a group, and are you used to working in groups? You're very connected. I would imagine you're not a super lone wolf.
Yeah, I would say would get along pretty well with any group under the right circumstances.
As long as Orvie's not running it.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe your family or tribe. So we've talked a little bit about the Botan family. Is there any particular sort of people within that family that she would be drawn to? It doesn't sound like, even though she has this samurai koi warrior, do you spend much time with the warriors who wear red? Do you spend most of your time with the mystics who wear white?
I think it would just be kind of, for the most part, it would be spending time with the head family, but also just, in general, being a part of the village as a whole.
Okay, very just all sorts of people. Everybody knows everybody's name. Despite the low
Yeah.
charisma, knows everyone's name. They know your name.
Yep.
All right. Who are your 3 most valuable contacts? We'll go ahead and say that the mystic, the head mystic of the village is number 1.
Yeah.
Who again I will detail before our next adventure. Who would your other 2 most valuable contacts be? They can be people we make up right now.
Head samurai. I got that one on speed dial.
Okay.
And I also kind of want the ability to be able to contact one of the stronger blossom spirits for the Botan.
Okay. Do you know anything about this spirit yet? Have any ideas about them?
No.
I'll fill it in.
Not really.
No, it's totally fine. It's just a question of whether you want to give me a blank check or if you want to write it yourself. That's all it is.
I give you artistic liberty here.
Excellent. What personal values and beliefs does your character hold?
I would say tribe/village above all else. And just kind of that strong moral sense that having the bloom in this world is a good thing and that the steel should not return.
Nature is good. Community is good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. To whom is your character closest and why?
So I would still say the head mystic here. And I think the reason why is that like the head mystic gave her a chance. Like I feel as though there might have been a little bit of a struggle for the blink beasts to be accepted. And then I think the head mystic kind of saw, for good or for better or worse, I guess to be determined, some amount of strength or utility of me specifically that I was kept around and also treated well.
That makes sense. What does your character need the most?
More charisma, clearly. My fish.
You already have that. What do you need that you don't have?
Oh, that's true. I wonder if she would know what real friends are. I think she still, like, she struggles a lot with, are the people that I'm around, like, are they nice to me because they're friendly?
Mm-hmm.
Are they scared? I think she has, like, very much has a difficult time reading people, and then also because people have a difficult time reading her. So, yeah.
So she has a lot of community, but not a lot of intimacy, not a lot of like close emotional connections that feel 2-way rather than 1-way. Like,
yeah.
Okay. And again, this is a character quiz that is inside the Anime 5e book that I'm probably going to use for non-anime campaigns as well because it's super helpful.
It's really in depth.
What does your character fear the most?
That's a tough one.
We can leave it till later if you want.
Yeah, let's come back to that.
Add it to my notes. I'm not saying I'm going to throw it in just because, but you know. We already kind of described your character's appearance. How does your character define heroism?
I don't know if that's really something that they define.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like obviously duty and like heroism are a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
but all she sees is that duty to guess. So I guess heroism would just be like by like doing the right thing
And
and doing as much as you can to get there,
okay.
even if it's difficult.
Does your character have any hobbies, interests outside of helping people with heavy lifting and protecting the village and going off on adventures when asked by the head mystic?
Hmm. Think she likes to paint and read.
There's also, all right, see, painting, reading. There is also one clue from your character so far. The tool proficiency you picked was fishing, yes or no? Did we end up going with that?
I tabled that because I wasn't
Okay.
really sure. Uh
Well, then it might lead the other way, where we could say that the tool that you're proficient with is calligraphy tools or painter's tools, one of those.
let's do painter's tools.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff does your character like to paint?
People. Like just still shots of I guess yeah, like action shots of the village in motion.
Okay.
Very much a people watcher.
I like it. I like it a lot. What would your character do if they killed an innocent bystander?
First try to justify it in their mind that maybe it was for, like a bigger picture or like a greater plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think it depends on the circumstance in which that happened.
All right. That is an enlightening answer. For what does your character have little patience and tolerance?
Bullshit.
Oh, you're gonna get along well. You're gonna get along well with Asena. Does your character hide any emotions in public? Were you about to say something?
I was just saying, uh-oh. uh, no, I don't think so.
All right. It doesn't hide anything and is also hard to read. That is a tough situation.
Yeah.
How does your character view death and beyond?
I think a small note about the emotions thing. It's not that I think it's just that like she's blunt. And I don't think she would ever say anything unless something bothered her enough to say something about it, but she wouldn't be like explosively angry
Mm-hmm.
or really upset and start crying. I think she'd be like, yeah, that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that kind of be it, if that
Not
makes
super,
sense.
like, blunt, but not super expressive.
Yes. Yes. So how does my character view death and beyond? Uh I think I would view it as just like a natural part of life.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What does your character dislike about themselves?
Mm, their inability to express themselves vocally.
So it's not that your character doesn't value emotional expression or think that it's a waste of time or that it's weak. It's just that
It's
she
hard.
struggles with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Relatable. Um, describe your character's bedroom or rest location. Where do you live in the village? What are your digs like?
Ooh. I don't know. Simple. Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like very humble, simple building. I don't know, whatever the head mystic would allow.
Mm-hmm.
But then like lots of plant life and things in it.
Okay.
And maybe a nice little pond for the koi fish.
Nice. So it's like your samurai warrior koi spirit has a house to live in and then a mobile home when you pack them up
Yeah,
in the cool.
exactly.
I like it. What'd your character do? Your character's perfect date night or enjoyable outing? It doesn't have to be, an actual date night. What's
What's
the
a
thing? April
date?
24th. You know.
Yeah, just like not too hot, not too cold. um, does she really get time to herself?
I feel like the head mystic would permit it, but would you even take it?
No,
You like to
not
work.
really. Yeah.
All right. On that grind. Just a few more left. Describe your character's relationship with money.
Take it or leave it. Money
Uh,
is a necessity, but like you don't need fancy things.
You just need community and enough to survive.
Yep.
Describe your character's views on authority and the law.
Oh yeah, that's concrete. I don't stray from that.
And where does authority and law derive from?
I think just the natural order of things.
Natural law. All right.
Yeah.
Who's impacted your character's life direction the most?
The head mystic.
What are your character's feelings on forgiveness and revenge?
Easy to forgive, not so easy to forget, but wouldn't actively go out to seek revenge unless it felt like the right thing to do.
Not revenge, justice sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the origins of your character's special abilities?
So are we talking about like the ward, the portals?
Yes.
Okay. So warding I feel like was trained. Like that happened because of village circumstances and that all came together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a blink beast, so I already teleport. And so I don't think it's too far of a stretch either to say that at some point I experimented
Mm-hmm.
instead of teleporting myself, teleporting other things. But I didn't quite get that right.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like Shadow Realm.
Which
You
I'm going to have to
go.
develop as well. But I'll get notes on that. So your portals are a natural extension of your blink beast teleportation. Your warding is something you learned from the Botan. What about your bond with your samurai koi?
Hmm. I don't know. That one just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but like, let me be the first to tell you that Archer is not the most intelligent of creatures. That's my dog. But you love him. You will love him no matter how many times he misses a jump or he runs into a glass door. I don't know. My fish is a little not all there in the head.
So that's just like a genuine friendship that the two of you have,
Yeah.
like a very very
Yeah.
close bond. It's not that you have, it's not special training or anything. Maybe he's learned a little bit from the head samurai. Maybe it's just part of his nature as a guardian koi spirit. But that's just a bond that you share. Nothing.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Next, what is the prime motivation behind your character's actions?
To protect to protect nature and the wishes of the village.
All right. In what way does your character focus their personal growth?
I think that they would measure it based off of the perception or the perceived happiness of the people around them.
All right, so you gauge the impact that your personal growth is having on those around you, and that's how you determine success or failure.
Yeah.
All right. Describe the accomplishment of which your character is most proud.
I feel like I did something around the village that was helpful.
All right, we can develop that as we go on. How does your character think they might die?
In combat.
With your boots on.
Yep.
Last question, how would your character describe themselves in a single sentence?
I know how I want to describe them in a single sentence, but that's not necessarily how my character would.
That's the tricky bit, right?
Yeah, blink beast, go zoom zoom.
It's a shame we lost 100 miles per hour.
Oh, I know. It's so funny to me, the Game of Thrones like Night Watch mantra came into my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a good one. I don't know.
We'll put a pin in this one. All right. So, unless there's anything else that you want to discuss, go over, etc., we still haven't deployed the secret passage from the Act of God, and I want us, as we wrap up our stream, to talk about what sets our story in motion.
Yes.
All right. The Votan village is nestled in a valley fed by many rivers, and there's a high mountain overlooking all of it. And that mountain is a sacred place, and there's a huge waterfall that flows off of it. One of the most common types of blossom spirit for Votan are koi guardians. They come in a wide variety. They exemplify bravery. They, again, look like normal fish, but then they rise up into various forms to protect the innocent and to defend against attackers and that sort of thing. The legend is, if a koi swims up the waterfall, they become a dragon. And dragons are the strongest Votan blossom spirits. Dragons that exemplify courage. So your koi friend talks about these stories about how like the greatest warriors of his kind, the most absolutely bravest ones, swim straight up the waterfall and become dragons. Orvi is a half dragon, and he has recently gotten a whole bunch of friends paid with gold. He's desperate to earn the approval of his superiors, who are losing their connection with the Blossom Spirits because of the spreading curse. The head mystic is extremely worried about this spreading curse, sees it as grave a threat as the greed of a few of the elders and the young who want to bring back the steel. Orvi is desperate to prove himself, to matter, to be somebody. He's got a whole bunch of hired goons, and he's climbing that mountain. Now, we don't want to kill him. He's just a dumbass. But he really shouldn't be on that mountain with all those paid mercenaries. You need to... Yeah. So our story is going to begin as you are headed up the mountain to stop him from desecrating it with his ignorance.
Oh my goodness. That's very cool.
Now, you have a secret passage, which means you might know a secret tunnel of some sort that you can use, probably behind the waterfall, because there's got to be a secret behind the waterfall, right?
Yep. All
right. So let's say that you know a secret way behind the waterfall that was left by... it's been there since before the Steel World. There's some old carved out tunnels, like a monastery with this running water, constantly dripping with water, but it's got these koi carved into it. And you discovered it because you're the only one who can climb back there and teleport back there. Mm-hmm. So we'll start our adventure with you in that secret passage on your way up to stop Orvi from doing something really stupid. Does that work?
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Awesome. I think we're just about wrapped up, unless you had any closing questions or anything else you wanted to bring up.
I don't think so.
Fantastic.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
So, just to recap for folks, with Anime 5e system, we started out Nekkra with 80 points, rolled for ability scores, deducted those from those 80 points, used the rest of the points to purchase racial abilities and some special abilities like flipping portals and sending people to the Shadow Realm. We did classes. We assigned points to her companion, who also has his own class. We went through the character quiz at the end, and at the end of it, we have a unique character you will probably never ever see again. Except for, in a couple of weeks when Coriander Society Adventures YOKAI Blossom starts.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone so much for joining us. Thank you for Daisuke Publishing Company for sponsoring this stream. You can pick up a copy of Anime 5e. All this stuff that we've been talking about, the charts of everything that you need, the attributes that you can spend the points on, the total customization, that's all in the book. It's available on Drive-Thru-RPG. Do !anime in the chat to get a direct link to that. Thank you so much, Nekkra, for being here. I know we need to come up with a name, but I love your character so much.
I do too. I think that's one of the things that I love so much about this 5e system is the customization options. Like, you were not kidding. They are endless.
Yeah.
Like, I already see you could go in a completely wild different direction. Like, we talked about how you could have a defect that you have too many fans around you. Could you imagine like being an isekai student with also that problem? Like, there's something here for everybody, especially if you're an anime enthusiast. And I also came up with a character that I didn't think I was going to. Like, I remember you and I had talked before about like even just going through like a magical girl guy kind of route with all of that, and I think we came up with something better. It's very unique.
I have no idea where this character came from. Like, when you were just, let's do Portal, let's just picking things up. I love that kind of creativity. The spontaneity that a good rule system can throw at you is so fun.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, You can watch Nekkra's debut on Coriander Society not tomorrow. We will have an episode of Coriander Society. It'll be the prequel to her introduction, but on May 17th at 5:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/casters and castles. We'll join the party. We'll have a 4-part adventure in the world of Yokai Blossom. Thank you everyone for tuning in today, and we will see you next time.